All right. Hey guys, let's gonna log in my phone, see if I actually am alive or not. Can you hear me okay? Just respond in chat. I can see your messages. Waiting. Are we live right now? I am. Okay. Is there a lag at all or is it okay? Okay. No, say no lag if there's no lag. Awesome. Okay, cool. Yeah, so we're gonna do a walkthrough of the SEO blog writer. I'm gonna give you some usage tips on using it, some general overviews, and then I'll take questions and answers at the end. It should be a lot of fun. Hopefully, you'll learn a lot. Uh, I did a Zoom call with a lady yesterday, and it was actually more informative for me than for her because we were going through the SEO writer, and she's like, "Oh, I never knew about that stuff." So I've been living in the development cycle for months now, and so I'm like, "Oh yeah, these features we had them months ago," but some of you have not. So this might be a really eye-opening experience for a lot of you. I might be able to share a lot of the cool new features that we have inside of the SEO blog writer and how you can apply them to writing SEO optimized content. So let me switch over to my desktop right here. Uh, Now make sure you have the latest version. I pushed out 7.5 for, whatever a couple days ago. Now there's auto update. So once you manually update, you'll now be able to just click this little button right here and it will look for an update on my server. And then also every 24 hours, it will ping the server and look for an update too, and this will turn green. So a lot easier now I feel like we're living in the 21st century with these auto updates. Uh, and then I recommend, um, we're gonna do a deep dive into using the SEO writer. I recommend clicking this button right here, training and help, and really going through the different guides and training that's in here. The exhaustive guide, this is really important. I spent a lot of time on this exhaustive guide. There's a lot of features that are shared between the different tools. Like if I click on the bulk writer, for instance, there is an enable list option. Okay. There's an enable tables option. And those options also exist in the SEO blog writer. Okay. All of the explanation for the shared features, the shared options are going to be in this SEO blog writer guide. Okay. They won't be repeated in these other guides. So if you see an option that you don't know about, first check this guide and see if there's some usage tips in there. It's very, when I say exhaustive, it really is exhaustive. It covers a lot of um, stuff in here. Like for instance, we just had the custom prompt that we added in all these different features, the SEO, the bulk, and the penny arcade. There's a custom prompt you can add. Okay, so there's some guidance on that right here, and um, this will teach you, some different tips and different tricks on how you can use the custom prompt. Let's see, go back to the SEO. There's also the YouTube videos, so it explains how to use that in here. So definitely check this guide out and investigate how you can best use the SEO writer because I clearly can't cover everything in this hour long or this, I guess, 30-minute walkthrough and then 30-minute Q&A. So let's dive in and get started with kind of developing an article to write about. I was thinking we got to write about something, we need something to write about. I said, well, let's think about something like a cool niche that maybe isn't explored yet. And I came across this concept of AI inside of law firms. Um, so there's not a lot of uh, uh, difficulty with these. We've got about 45 difficulty. So I think it's something that we could potentially rank for. Because if you think about it, we had those stereotypical people that the guy that wanted to use AI in his law firm and he, he used it to draft that case, that response to the court petition or whatnot. And then it cited these fake cases. So clearly there's a desire to use AI in law. But you have to be able to use it correctly. And a lot of these lawyers don't know how to do it. They're on the technical side, but this would probably be a great great niche to dive into because there's a lot of money. You want to talk about some great ways to make money as an affiliate marketer or as just a website owner. AI in law is a really interesting prospect, in my opinion. I did some uh, some more searching on it, and I got this keyword right here. Now, it doesn't look like there's any search volume, but you have to realize this is new. This is all cutting edge stuff. And when we actually go to Google and we perform this search, let's there's quite a lot of stuff on it. So it seems to be a hot, like, this is the American Bar Association, 7 ways artificial intelligence can benefit your law firm. What is AI and how can law firms use it? So it seems like there's a lot of interest in this, but maybe not a lot of build out. So I don't want to spend too long on this whole niche thing. I just want to give you an overview of kind of why I chose to write an article on this. So what I would do first, once we have our keyword's going to be how AI can help law firms, is I'd go over here to the SEO writer. And you have to realize the keyword that we're putting in here. So let's start with the basics. The keyword that we put in isn't necessarily going to be your H1. It's not necessarily going to be your title tag. Okay. This is going to be the term that the AI is going to use, or the phrase, the keyword long tail that the AI is going to use as it writes the article. Okay. As it generates, if you're using one of these options to generate your H2s, your H3s, H4s, it's going to use that. Okay. As it actually writes the subject matter for these different H2s and whatnot, it's going to use this. So you don't want something complex like ultimate guide and tips and tricks, because that's not really helpful to the AI. Now, that would be very click friendly, when you're all done with your article. But from a writing for using the AI standpoint, you want something very simple. So we'll start with this. This can be our very simple title. Now, you probably already know this, but we can just click this button right here, generate H2s using only the AI, and it will go ahead and do that. But we're going to actually put some background in and generate the headings using some background information and also the competition H2s and H3s. So we have a couple different titles or H2s up here. Now, what's really important, and not a lot of people know this, is the model that you choose, DaVinci, GPT-4, GPT 3.5, affects the actual H2 titles when you use one of these generation methods. So you can actually choose, for instance, like DaVinci, and then generate the titles using DaVinci, and then switch back after you have all your AI titles done. You can switch back to Turbo to actually write the entire article and save a few bucks. So you don't have to use the same model that you use to generate the headings as you do to generate the article. Now, someone asked me, what's the difference between these three? First and foremost, the quality of them is constantly changing. I don't know if DaVinci is. DaVinci seems to be pretty stable, but OpenAI has been modifying GPT-4 and GPT 3.5 Turbo. If I were to rank them, I would say GPT 3.5 Turbo is the least expensive, but it's also not the smartest. Then DaVinci is kind of the middle of the road. It's smart and it's fairly inexpensive. Okay, and then GPT-4 is more expensive, but it's also the smartest of all the different models. What I do like about DaVinci is, again, it doesn't seem like they're modifying the underlying model at all. They're not updating it and whatnot. So I think your quality that you get from it will be consistent. If you can reach a point that you really like with DaVinci, it probably shouldn't change. Whereas I know they just pushed an update for Turbo out a couple weeks ago, and that really changed a lot of the quality that we were seeing. And I had to modify the prompts and whatnot. But uh, I'll typically, if I'm going to use AI, I'll use one of these two models to generate my headings, and then I'll either stick with those to generate the article, or I'll use Turbo. All right. So let's get some data to put in this global background and whatnot. What I typically do if I'm going to use this global background section is I want to find a meaty article. I want to find an article with a lot of keywords, a lot of text, a lot of content that I'm going to use in here. And let me take a step back, I guess. Why would I even want to use a global background? Okay. You can use the SEO writer without the global background, and you can use the SEO writer without scraping URLs and stuff like that. Some people might just want to use the SEO writer to have customized titles for your different H2s and H3s, and that's perfectly fine. All right. But if you don't care about the titles you have, if all you do is you come in here and you click option 2 to generate your titles, I don't even know why you're using the SEO writer. Okay, just use the bulk writer. The SEO writer is meant for when you really want to come in and customize things you want, or you want to teach the AI things it doesn't know. Okay, so that's where we use the global background to teach the AI things it doesn't know. That's where we would use a subheading background. If the AI wouldn't know about this thing, we'd put some, a URL or some background information in here. So, how AI can help law firms? I think the AI could probably write a pretty decent article on this, but I'd rather seed it with some knowledge. So there's a couple ways you can do this. You don't need phrase to accomplish what I'm going to show you. All right. What I would typically do is I would take the search query and put it into here, and then do your search and then look at the top 10 or top 20 results, and then find something that has a lot of meat to it. You can do the same thing in phrase, how AI can help law firms, and then go to the outline mode and select headings from search results, and it'll show you the word count for each of these different sites, and then also their outline structure. So you can say, okay, this does not look very useful from a global background standpoint, but this does. It looks like there's a lot of important things in here that are relevant to how AI can help law firms. So I could visit that site, and we'll look at some of the other different headings. But you don't need Phrase to do this. You can just do this manually in Google, but I think this kind of speeds up the process. AI for lawyers. Okay, so we'll take this too. So we can look at the different headings. What is artificial intelligence? Okay. AI in the legal industry. So we have e-discovery, legal research, document management, litigation. And you might not be a lawyer. You're probably not a lawyer. So this stuff might not be very, you might not have a lot of knowledge on this. So sometimes when I'm using this section in here and making sure that I'm covering all my bases, what I will do is I'll ask the AI kind of what some of this stuff's all about. So I did this prompt before I started the video. Write a list, or what is a list of 10 things that attorneys do each day? And this kind of seeds my own brain, seeds my own knowledge about what an attorney might do. So review legal documents, legal research, client meetings, court appearances. So this is actually something I could just take and put into the global background section in conjunction with, one of these URLs that I like. So this looks pretty good. Let's take this one. So I'll take this website. Now, the global background, you can put up to 3 URLs into it. I mean, you can put more, but it's only going to consider the first 3. And then what's basically going to happen is right now we're just using the 4K models, the 4,000 token models, which is 3.5 Turbo, DaVinci, and GPT-4, although that's 8. Right now, we can only put the global background can only be a max of like 1,200 words or so. Okay. So what it's going to do when we put a URL in here is it's going to summarize this, and it will go URL, it will go in order. So we can put another URL in here. And what's going to happen is it will summarize this first one. And if it's short of 1,000 or 1,200 words, it will then try to summarize the next one. And it will keep going down the list for the list of 3 URLs. And then once it's reached that 1,000 words, it will stop scraping and it will just truncate the results right there. So just for this example, though, we'll just do one. Now we can click this button here to generate our H2s from the AI, plus the competition H2, H3, and or global background. So remember this option right here, it generated the H2s using only the AI. When we click option 3, it's actually going to scrape this URL for us and generate it using that URL, but then also any data that we put into the competition here. So let's get some competition H2s and H3s. Now, a lot of people I've seen, and they make this mistake. They'll put in a couple keywords in here. They'll say, okay, I want to put in client meetings, court appearances, etc. The problem with that is the way this works, it looks for similarities. So if we had instances where there were 3 instances of client meetings, that would be very relevant, very important. So the AI would probably focus on that one. But if we just had like court appearances one time, then the AI might not choose that. So it's really important when we're inputting H2 and H3 titles to actually get the whole list of H2 and H3 titles from the competition. Now, this is a situation where you do need a SERP scraper. We don't have that yet inside of ZimmWriter. But if you have Frase, I'll show you how to do it in Frase. I'll show you how to do it in NeuronWriter. You can go to export. We can export the SERP data. And then what you'll get is a PDF file. Okay. And you click on this little headers tab down here, and you'll see all the different headers from all the different top 20 SERP results. Okay. And you're going to want to go through this stuff. All right. So there's some examples in here like Jasper. All right. I don't want that in here. There's more. I don't want that in here. Comments 227. I don't want that in here. All right. Subscribe. I don't want that in here. So we want to filter this list out, look at just the H2s, look at just the H3s, and we'll get this list of cleaned up headers a little bit. Okay. So I'll take this cleaned up list and I'll copy it and I'll go to the SEO writer and I'll paste that right in there. Okay. And it doesn't matter that there's spaces. That's not a problem at all. Okay. So we have our URL in here and we have our different H2s and H3s. Now, what we can do is we can generate just 5 H2s right now, okay? Or we can determine, oh, we want 10. Whatever you do doesn't matter because we can always go back and modify this and regenerate it without scraping. Because what's going to happen is when we scrape this, it's actually going to convert the URL to that summary. Okay, so let's go ahead and scrape that right now. Now, you don't need scrape al to scrape a lot of websites. You can use your own IP address. I'm in the US, I'm in Ohio. A lot of places aren't going to probably block my IP. If you're overseas or something, you might get blocked, and that's a situation where scrape al can help. Scrape al is also very useful for these big sites like Amazon that are going to block your personal IP. You don't want to get blocked from Amazon. If you're married, your spouse will probably be upset if you get blocked from Amazon. You don't want that. So it does Amazon. You can scrape YouTube transcripts, all that good stuff. So, and I'm looking at building SERP scraping too. Let's see, while that's working, the other thing you can do is you can copy the H2s and H3s from the clipboard. So you can actually build your outline. Let's go back to the help page. You can build your outline just offline or in Chat GPT or something like that. Exhaustive guide. So we have our outline was generated right here. Copy from the clipboard. So if you want to copy your H2s and your H3s and your H4s from the clipboard and paste them in and not even use AI, or maybe you're developing your outline inside of Notepad or something, you can do that. Okay, we can go over here, we can just copy this list and click option 1, and it will automatically copy this in. If you want H3s, all right, then you need 2 dash, or you need 1 dash, and if you want H4s, you need 2 dashes. So watch this. I can actually take this whole thing, and we're going to go back over here. And actually, that might cause a problem because then I'll have to delete it all. Let's just take this and we'll copy it from the clipboard. And see, we instantly pasted this right into here. Again, if you want H3s and H4s, this is the formatting you need to follow, okay? Let's go back and generate this again because I just overwrote it all. Now, it's not going to have to scrape anything because it's already scraped. Did I just change to DaVinci or something? So here's the summary from the URL that we scraped, okay? Now, I always recommend going into the summary, especially if you're using summaries down here and looking at them, because the summary, the scrape is never completely perfect. If there's a lot of content in the footer, it might catch that and bring that into the summary too. So you want to avoid that, okay? So you want to kind of go through this and see if there's stuff that you need to edit out. Now, this is just the data from that URL. But what we actually want, let's change this back to 10. What we actually want is that AI list to also help. So we'll take this list and I'll go back to that global background. So this is the summary we had from the URL, and this is the stuff from the AI, and we'll generate it again. So look at the headings are going to change down here. There we go. So we have AI overview, machine learning, NLP for drafting. Okay. Integration considerations, competitive advantages, learning effectively, tools for productivity, document review, contract. That's pretty cool. Now, I don't know, depending on how important, on a website, you'll have different types of articles. You'll have very, very important articles. And these are articles that either are worth a lot to you, all right, a lot of money to you for whatever reason. Maybe somebody paid you to make that article, so they're very important to you, or maybe it's very, very high traffic keyword that you're targeting. So that could be a very important article to you. In that situation, I would use this SEO writer. I would take my time. I would go through this. I would make sure the headings are exactly what I want. Okay. There's less important articles, right? Articles that they're supporting articles or they're low competition articles. In those situations, I'd use the bulk writer or I'd use the penny arcade, whatever you decide to do. Ultimately, you are building silos on your site. You're going to have your pillar article. This could be our pillar article, for instance, how AI can help law firms. And then you'd have supporting articles linking to it, like review it, AI in in reviewing legal documents, or how AI can help in client meetings and stuff like that. Okay. So there's some situations where you'd go slower. There's some situations where you'd go faster. The slower ones, I'd go through this. The more important ones, I go through the SEO blog writer. So we have our headings here. Now, let's say we want some subheadings. All right. So let's say for legal, let's modify this NLP for legal drafting. So let's say we want 3 subheadings, 3 H3s. Okay, so here are H3s. In the past, you'd have to manually fill these out, but now there's a little S button, and this is awesome. I absolutely love this because there's other AI tools that will generate your entire outline in one go, but the problem is it's not easy to go back in and then modify the H3 list, modify that H4 list. It's kind of a manual process. With ZimmWriter, everything can be automated. So we'll click this S button, and ZimmWriter will use that global background, and it will potentially use, if you had a background in this section, it would use that too, to then generate these different H3s. So NLP for legal drafting, NLP benefits, automation advantages, AI considerations. Okay. Now, if you don't like those, you can change it to whatever you want. You want more, you want less. He said, I just want one H3 now, or I don't want any H3s. That's fine too. Tools for productivity. So this can be your product roundup if you want to. So we can say, okay, we want 4 H3s here. And then we're going to go over here and switch to GPT-4. And then we'll click this little S button, and it'll auto-generate our H3s for tools for productivity. So see how easy it is? You can do the same thing with H4s. Let's make 2 H4s right here. We'll click the S button. So we now have some H4s. Again, you don't have to click the S and have the AI generate it all. You can do it manually too if you want to, but that option is available for you there. Okay. Let me clean this stuff up. Now, the enable subheading background, let's kind of move down this list of different things. I don't want to take up too much time. Couple different options here. Okay. You can, whenever ZimmWriter writes a section, so writes this section on machine learning, it's going to use this background information up here, whatever is in here, but it's also going to use whatever you've put inside here. Okay. So you can find, let's see, you can go to Google and you can type in like AI for, let's do a different one. Let's do integration consideration. AI into your law firm. So what you could do is you can find something that speaks right on it. Here you go. Integrating AI into your law firm. Now, I don't know what this site is. I haven't done any research on it. But we can take this URL and we can go over here and we can paste it right into there. Okay. And now, if you wanted to, you can do this for all your different sections and then scrape them all at once. Or individually, you can just come down here and say, I just want to scrape URLs only. So it's going to scrape that one URL, give us that one background section, then we can go in and modify it and adjust it accordingly. Or you can put in all, you can completely fill out your whole thing and then scrape it all at once and then go back and edit it and modify it. Let's look at the comments while that's working right now. All right. All right, so again, the AI probably doesn't know about integration considerations with law firms. There's limited knowledge, or maybe it's a niche subject. It's also cutting edge too. It's a cutting edge technology. So we want to see what other people have written. We scrape the URL, and here's the summary that it generated. Adoption of AI and technology in legal industry for increased efficiency and cost savings, potential benefits. So we did a scrape, and if we don't like this, we can come here and we can delete it, or we can put in our own information. One thing I've seen people try to do that does not it's not intended is they'll put in directions. Okay, they'll put in, use the keywords, A, B, C, use first person pronouns. This is not a section for directions. Okay, this is for knowledge that the AI does not already know. And again, when it writes this section, it's going to write using this global background and then also this stuff that you put in here. Now, be aware that if you're using one of these more expensive models, GPT-4 or DaVinci or whatnot, this is OpenAI charges you based on the data that's sent to OpenAI and the data that you get back from OpenAI. So we're sending this global background plus this content here for each of these requests. Okay, so it can add up because this is more computational power that the AI needs when it writes. So just be aware that the prices can go up if you're using these more expensive models. That's why a lot of times, if it's not a money article for me, I'll just use Turbo and be happy with it. Now you see this other option called trigger product layout. Okay. Now this is a really interesting option. This is for if you're writing a review of a product, like almost like a product roundup. Let's see here. Product layout. Enable product layout. Oh, trigger product layout. There we go. So what this does is when you click this button, and the AI will try to use it even if it's an improper use. Okay, but let's say you had the name of a product in here. Law. Law 360 case case briefer. I don't know. Maybe you had a couple different tools you're reviewing. When you trigger the product layout, okay, and the AI is not going to know about this. Okay, so you want to use background information because the AI is going to have no idea about this particular product. Okay, so and you could do this for Amazon products or specific products that you get from the internet. Doesn't matter. But when you trigger the product layout, what it's going to do is the AI is going to write two paragraphs reviewing the product based on this background information here, and then also write a list of pros and cons. Now, if you don't want that, what you can do is you can come down here, and there is the tail end of the trigger layout prompt. So we're gonna the product layout prompt, whenever you click that button, it's going to do that for that subsection. So we click that button, and then the output for this particular H2 subsection is going to be two paragraphs and then a list of pros and cons. Regardless of what you do down here, it's going to write those two paragraphs. But then what comes after those two paragraphs, you can modify down here. So instead of writing three bullet point lists of product specs, pros and cons, you can say, write a list of product specs. Okay. And that's it. And when you do that, it's going to modify how that output is going to appear. Okay. Let's see. So if you don't like this, you don't want trigger product layout, you just disable it. And then also, I believe if you uncheck this thing, your background information might go away. So just be careful once you've triggered it and you got your background in there. Yeah, it erases it from the memory. So if you're going to use background information, hey, don't uncheck this button or it will vanish. Okay. Now, maybe you spent a lot of time working on your outline. Okay, where'd our outline go? So let's take this right here. We're totally changing up what we're writing about right now, but we're going to copy this outline into here. So maybe you've spent a lot of time. So if I'm going too fast, what I did was I took this outline, this format right here, our H2s, this dash to make an H3, this dash to make an H4. I copied it all in here. So maybe we created this manually. We spent a lot of time creating this manually and we want to save it. We don't want to lose this. What you can do is click to copy outline to clipboard. And then we can go over here and we can paste it and save it kind of for later, so you don't lose it. Or maybe you want to edit it some more. So we can come in here and we can say, you know what? I want to edit, a bunch of different things. I want to take some stuff out. And then when you paste it back in, it will adjust it accordingly. Okay. Now, a lot of these options you should be familiar with. The section limit, usually length, I usually check short. I find personally, it's a happy medium. It's a good readable size. If the AI doesn't know about the topic and you are using global background, what can happen is if you choose medium or long and you have a lot of different headings, a lot of different subheadings, you could get repetition between them. If you want to avoid repetition, what I'll typically recommend is using that global or that subsection background for each one of these to avoid that repetition when you're going longer, because then you're giving the AI more to write about as opposed to just this very heavily weighted global background. Okay. The voice, you should be familiar with this already. You, your, yours, I, me, my, we, us, our, and then professional, which tries to avoid personal pronouns. The none, I don't really know what that does. I just don't prompt the AI. So I think your results will just kind of vary depending on the type of article you're writing. If you're writing an article about how to care for a baby and you click none, it's probably not going to come out in a professional tone of voice. It's probably going to come out in this second person, you, your, and yours tone of voice. Literary devices, you should already be aware of that. A lot of this stuff, again, is explained in here. We have lists, tables. We have our long FAQs and short FAQs. There's an option for a mid-journey prompt for each H2. By default, uh, ZimmWriter will generate this mid-journey prompt for the top of the document. But if you want a mid-journey prompt underneath each of the H2s, not H3s and H4s, just the H2s, you would just check this box and that would give you that prompt right there. The key takeaway section, you're going to get that key takeaways of the entire article. And how this actually works, it actually takes a little bit of time, because what's going to happen is ZimmWriter is going to go and summarize the entire article after you've written it. So it will write the entire article, and then it will basically kind of do what the Penny Arcade does, or that summarize equal does inside of, if you're familiar with it, there's a summarize equal, and you can put in either a URL or a bunch of text and it will summarize it. That's exactly what's going to happen here. It's going to chunk up the article if it's over, a certain length, and then summarize each point, and then summarize all of that stuff, and then write key points based on that. It only uses Turbo, so don't be scared of prices. I think for a 10,000 word article, it would probably cost you 2 pennies, because it's going to use Turbo for that, even if you decide to choose uh, GPT-4 or whatnot. What else? So custom prompt is very interesting. I almost need like a whole nother training section on this. This allows you to, how do I explain this? What this is going to do is, for whatever sections you select, so let's say introduction, and let's say normal subheadings. For the introduction, it's going to take the title of the article and then the content of the introduction and send that to OpenAI, and then apply whatever you have in here to it. So if you say, write it using the AIDA copy technique, okay, and you apply it just to the introduction, okay, then that's what's going to happen. It's going to rewrite the introduction, all right, using the AIDA copywriting technique. Now, where this happens, okay, in the in the grand scheme of things, I don't write ZimmWriter. When you look at the top of a ZimmWriter document, it will say, we made 77 calls to OpenAI. So I don't just ask the AI, hey, write an article. Here's all my prompt. Here's my one prompt, and it spits out this 3,000 word article. That's not what we do at all. We chunk everything up into different passes and different sections. So one particular H2 section, when it's writing about, or H3 section, identifying target keywords, it might make 3 different calls to OpenAI. The first call to write the section using the prompt data, and then the second section to apply skinny paragraphs, and then the third pass to apply a translation if you choose that. So where this custom prompt comes into play is, after ZimmWriter, after the AI generates this particular section, it will then feed this custom prompt. We're talking about the introduction here. So after it generates the introduction, it will feed this custom prompt in, and then kind of rewrite that introduction according to whatever you have in here. And then it will apply skinny paragraphs, and then it will apply the translation. So that's kind of, it's inserting it where you kind of wanted this to apply. Now, just be careful though. We want to write using the AIDA copywriting technique. If you apply it to all this stuff, your article is going to turn out to be garbage. Okay, we don't want uh, the identifying target keywords to apply the AIDA copywriting technique. Okay, so this is a powerful prompt, but it applies wherever you check it. And then I'll also see a lot of people, they'll take their chat GPT prompts and feed it in here. They don't get good results. So this is definitely a trial and error situation. I would recommend, if you're like, I really don't like how the normal subheading stuff is generated. I don't like that stuff. I want to modify it. I want, less transition words or something like that. Okay. Then I'd probably generate three H2s, all right, three of them, and then use Turbo, and then feed in your prompt and do some tests. All right, and modify your prompt and do some more tests. Try it and see what you get. Okay. So we talked about the introduction. When we did the introduction, it would feed in the title of the article and then also the introduction itself. When you click on a normal subheading, it would not feed in the title of the article. It would feed in the subheading title and then the subheading content. Okay. Now you can also select an independent model, independent of whatever you're using to write the article, to apply this custom prompt. So you can write your entire article using Turbo, but then use GPT-4 to modify if you're applying this to the introduction, to modify the introduction. Okay. This will enable or disable it. If you enable it, then the little box turns green down here to remind you that it's enabled. And when you click this button, this will basically put the prompt in the header of the text file so you can remember what prompt you used. So if you're doing some tests and you want to see what the different tests are producing, you can log the prompt in the file header and then say, oh, this, out of the 5 tests I did, this particular prompt I really like. YouTube videos, I hope that you are aware of this now. You need Scrape Al to use this. If you click this button and don't have Scrape Al, you'll get a little error message. What this will do is, for headings number 1, H2s, H2 number 1, H2 number 3, and H2 number 5, depending on how many videos you select. You just select one, it will just do it for the first H2. It will go to YouTube and try to find a relevant YouTube video that you can then embed into your article. Okay. So if you have Scrape Al, you check this box, you go over here and say, I want 3 YouTube videos. And it doesn't always find 3. Okay. Depending on how niche your subject is, maybe it can't find a relevant YouTube video. But what will happen is, if it finds one for the first H2, it will insert that depending on whatever you choose up here. Right now, it's going to insert it as an HTML embed code, but if you disable this, it will insert it just as a raw uh, YouTube link. Okay. And then when you paste that into WordPress, I believe on Gutenberg, if you're using Gutenberg, it will auto convert that to an embedded YouTube video. Really cool, really cool way to boost your relevance, hopefully in Google's eyes, and also the reader. The reader will, they see those videos, they watch those videos, that page on time will just skyrocket right there. So really cool feature. Audience personality, you can click this little button to learn more about it. It's all detailed in this exhaustive SEO guide. Let's see, non-English language. Everything else is pretty straightforward. Now let's talk keywords really quick. Okay, let's talk our keywords. But before we do that, um, let's regenerate our headings, because I kind of erased everything. All right, Da Vinci. I'm really happy this has not crashed on me. I'm not expecting a crash, but it's always in the back of my mind doing a live presentation. All right, so here's all our different H2s, kind of about that law firm, how AI can help law firms, back kind of where we started. Now let's talk keywords for a second, okay? And we'll end on this, and then I'll take questions and whatnot for the remainder of the time. I'll stay as long as you guys need me to. This is a section that a lot of people get confused on. Again, it's all detailed here in this exhaustive guide. Manual keywords. You can choose automatic keywords for this section, and automatic keywords is an option for both the where'd the other menu go? It's available in the bulk writer too, and also the Penny Arcade. Now, these are not like SEO scored keywords. They're not keywords from SEMrush or something like that. These are keywords that the AI came up with. But, all right, automatic keywords, I have found, are actually very valuable, because they can take the article in a different direction. So think of the keywords, the automatic keywords, as not um, a volumetric keyword, analysis. We're not putting keywords in based on volume. Instead, we're giving the AI new directions to talk about and to take the article. Now, you can go to the options menu and you can click this right here. No, wait, where is it? There we go. You can uncheck this thing. This is checked by default. It says don't display the auto keywords used in files. If you uncheck it, what will happen is the output for the file will actually display, if you check those auto keywords, it will display what those auto keywords are. And you can generate the same article 5 times and you'll get different keywords for each of the different subsections. And I find it's really cool because it will take that article in a different direction that you didn't possibly think about. And you'll get something unique, something different than if somebody else were to generate an article on the same topic. But if you don't want to use automatic keywords, because you can only use automatic or manual, you can't use them both, you would use manual, okay? Now, I'll show you how to do that with Frase and also with NeuronWriter. So in Frase, when you downloaded that, remember we went to Frase and we clicked this export SERP data. There's something called topics, okay? And these are all the different keywords that Frase, NLP keywords, Frase has determined are relevant. So these are the long tail keywords. These are the long tail, okay? And this is how you get that high score inside of Frase or NeuronWriter, okay? And there's also top topics, which are your short tail, okay? I don't really like when I get this list, I filter out. People said, "Oh, we want single word keywords." I think that's silly because this stuff's naturally going to be talked about in your article as it writes on this subject. But people wanted the single word keyword, so I allowed them to then have that in this list. But I always end up deleting these things because there's always context associated with this. Like we're writing an article about how AI can help law firms. Well, the AI is naturally going to talk about lawyers. So we don't need lawyers as a short tail keyword in this list, okay? Clients, technology. But when we click on one of these, it should, I guess that's not how you do it. It will show you, here we go, how it's used. So like tasks, for instance, when we open it up, there's manual tasks, routine tasks, legal tasks. I'd rather have those long tails than just the short tail tasks because what's the AI going to do with that? Whereas the routine tasks and manual tasks might give the AI something more to think about and then bring into the article. So the TLDR of that is I filter out the short tail keywords and just leave the long tail in the list. So you can take up to 150 keywords and you can leave the blanks in there. That's perfectly fine if you want to. You paste it in here into this list. Now, before we click start SEO Writer without scraping, because we've already scraped everything we need, before we start writing the article, okay, we have to figure out how many keywords we want in each subsection. If you're trying to achieve a high score inside a Frase or NeuronWriter or whatever your tool of choice is, and you have, for instance, 150 keywords, okay, that Frase expects to see in here, but you only have like 3 H2s, all right? There's no way it can fit 150 keywords into those 3 H2s. It's just going to be keyword stuffing. So if you have a lot of keywords, you want to make sure, number one, that you have a good amount of H2s or H3s or H4s, okay? You want a decent amount. And the next thing you want to pay attention to is this little indicator right here. And this indicator applies for both the automatic and the manual. What this is going to do is it's going to say, okay, how many keywords am I going to put into each subsection? Now, what you need to realize is this list of keywords, each keyword is, I'm going to say it's only going to be used once, but that's not necessarily true. I'm only going to prompt the AI to use like this keyword one time. And then after I've prompted the AI to use it, I delete it from the mix. Okay. So don't think that if you just put this keyword in one time, it's going to try to use it like 15 times or something like that. It very well might. All right. But it would just be using it naturally, not because I prompted it. Okay. So what this is saying right here is how many keywords do I want to tell the AI to use per subsection? Well, we have 130 keywords and we have 10 H2s. So to get them all in, I'd have to use more than 10. So I can't use more than 10 keywords. So let's just say 8. And that should have the AI use about 80 keywords from this mix as it writes this article right here, okay? Now, I think that's about it. Again, I'd spend more time on this if I wanted to, if this was a really, real money article. But that should cover just about everything. I did mention NeuronWriter. Let me show you in there how to use that. So I'm in NeuronWriter, how AI can help law firms. You just scroll down to your keyword list, and there should be a copy all visible terms to the clipboard. We'll copy the list of terms. And I pasted in Notepad first because it puts these separators in here, extended list of terms. So I just delete that. But I would still, you can tell there's repetition in here too. There's AI, 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 AI. So I think with NeuronWriter, you might want to go through this a little bit more and filter out the duplicates. You could probably take this right now and put it into Excel and filter out the duplicates, and then put that into the list of keywords. All right, that wraps this up. Let me take some comments and questions for the remainder of the time, and we'll just end it there. Okay. Let's see here. So if you have a question, go ahead and type it in chat right now. All right. Paul asked, Matt, does the bulk writer allow the use of one title tag and up to 10 H2s to produce 50 different pieces of content? Does the bulk writer allow that? So the bulk, so Paul, the bulk writer, you put in your titles. All right. And each title is going to give you one article. And you're going to designate the number of H2 tags. Some people have been asking for a dynamic thing over here. I'm pondering that. I think that might be a good idea, because sometimes you might put in like 5 tips to lose weight, 7 tricks to get into college with bad grades. So in a situation like that, like, what do you do here? You could choose 5 for your different H2s, but then this is going to get kind of screwed up. So I'm thinking of making this dynamic in the near future. But each title you put in, assuming I'm understanding your what you're asking, each title you put in will give you one article, but that's the bulk. Okay. David says Ahrefs has a free Chrome extension that will give you the H sections when you visit a page. Okay. BB said, great tip. Mike's in Ohio. Hey, in Youngstown, that's pretty cool. Let's see here. Mohan Sa, hope I'm saying your name right. Writer's End is best for the outline task, and ZimmWriter executes this. What a lucky me. Yeah. Writer's End's another great tool that people will use. It's kind of like NeuronWriter, kind of like Frase. It shares a lot of the same features, a little bit of AI, a little bit of this list of different keywords in here. Yeah. Yeah, BB. Some people have definitely complained about the size of this stuff. I've tried to make the font size bigger for some of these. The bulk's smaller than the SEO. The SEO is bigger, but the recoded version I'm developing will be hopefully resizable. I'm really hoping. Uh, so Bob, Sacramento. Bob, I guess it depends on. He wasn't impressed with the legal part. I mean, look, people have to write articles. All right. People write articles and publish them, and then they get ranked. All right. That's not to say that they can't be helpful. If you were to fill your entire site with bulk content for a topic such as law or something like that, yeah, it probably would be very spamish. But the SEO writer allows you to take your time. I mean, I went very quick. All right. If I was going to do this right, I might spend a couple hours filling all this stuff out, making it very detailed, because at the end of the day, you're having the AI write based on your knowledge. So, if you're a lawyer, you fill in your knowledge into the background section about this different stuff, and you have the AI help you write that article, and it gets you further along than doing it by hand. I mean, you could also just send this out to a writer and have the writer write it. What's the difference? Um, I do not recommend having the AI make up stuff. So Vivi says, can you do a demo, an article creation about something niche, like how to design custom magic items in D&D? Okay, yeah, sure. Let's do that really quick. I'm going to erase all the settings. And so I don't know if we're going to forget about keyword volume and all this stuff right now. How to design custom magic items in D&D. Okay. So something really niche. We don't care about search volume or anything like that, but we're just using the SEO writer to write that very niche article. Now, what you could do for something like this is you could use the Penny Arcade if you wanted to, but we'll use the SEO writer. Let's first see if there's some stuff that we can seed the AI's brain with. All right, there we go. There's an article there. That looks pretty good. Now, this isn't my niche, so I don't know. I played D&D one time. It was pretty cool, but not my niche, so I couldn't tell you if this stuff is correct or not. But you'd obviously, you'd want to figure that out first of all. So we can take these two things, we can put them into the background right now. I'm going to select DaVinci for our model, and it looked like, I don't know why it's scrolling so fast. There's 5 steps here, 6 steps there. All right, so let's just say 7 steps. And then all we do is we, yeah, we'll scrape the 2 URLs. So we'll scrape these 2 URLs right now and then try to generate our titles. Now, if you don't like the titles, okay, what we can do is we can come in here and, see what the competition has and try to come up with some better titles. Or we can go into Frase and, well, that's running. Let's create a new article, document. Let's go. Looking at the comments, what people are asking. So I'm still on BB's comment right now. Paul Jones says, "What do you recommend between GPT-4, a 3.5 turbo for the best output?" What I've found is GPT-4, while it has a bigger brain, it tries to talk fancy. It uses these big words that aren't commonly found on the internet. We don't. I don't know. It's like it's almost like it was trained on these very technical journal articles or something like that. So it depends on your niche. All right, I would probably test the output and then also maybe test the write in the style of. Maybe you could put like write in the style of an 8th grader or 8th grade teacher or something like that. That's an option down here. You could put like an 8th grade teacher or something like that, and then see if you can get it to write using common language. Okay, if you can, then I would choose GPT-4 for the money sites, for the money articles. Like you're doing finance or something like that. Oh yeah, use GPT-4 all the way. But you don't want it to come out sounding weird. So look at the competition and see how they are the language that they're using, the word choices they're using. Does it sound like using simple language that an 8th grader would understand, or is using complex terminology? So you gotta hone that in and nail that. First of all, that's the most important part, and you're going to solve that with this right in the style of box right here. If you're not by default getting the output that you want, so let's extract the SERP data right here. Okay, let's close this. Now, what I didn't do, and I probably should have done, is whenever I'm doing this in Phrase, or you're doing this manually too, you want to look at the results, especially for these lower competition things. And yeah, that we got to do this first. We have to remove the stuff that's not relevant. So 250 custom magic ideas. Um, I don't think we need that. That wouldn't be relevant. That would skew our results. Uh, magic items tutorial. Let's get rid of this Reddit thing. Need hilariously overpowered custom magic items. Nope. This is a Fiverr. We don't want that. We don't want this homebrew magic item creator. All right. I get nervous when I'm doing this on camera, so I probably gonna miss something, screw something up. But that's what you do. You go through whether you're using it Phrase or some other tool, or you're doing it manually, and then when you export it, I believe it should just be the results that you selected. Okay. Now I'll go over here and I'll filter, and I'll just look at the H2s and H3s, because some people will use the H2s that they should be H3s. Um, get rid of comments right here. For instance, embedded for the narrative. All right. I'd spend more time going through this, but we'll take this and actually let's get rid of the number stuff. I'll take that and I'll go over to our competition. I'll put that in there and then I'll re-click this. Now it's already scraped. It's already done that scrape up here. It has that background in. So now we're seeding with some even more knowledge. And again, if you don't understand, it's important to go and look at the entire top 20 or top 10 SERPs H2s and bring those in, not just like 5 things. Okay. You just bring this in, you paste it in here. You're not going to get great results. Okay. Dave method. I don't know what the Dave method is. So if you don't like it, you just click generate again. I know nothing about this. Does this look good, BB? I don't know. I have no idea. And then what you can do is we don't have a lot of things in here. So you could write the article right now. You could just say, start SEO writer without scraping because we've already scraped and it will write the article. But if it doesn't know about this stuff, that's where the background comes in. So, and you're the expert on the D&D stuff. So what you do is if this is the heading that you want, all right, and you think the AI probably would not know, and you can find out what the AI knows by simply doing a magic command and saying, what do you know about concept and change in the context of. So you can run that as a magic command, and I'll click Control-1. And this is just one way to get a feel for what the AI knows. I don't recommend doing it for each different H2. In most situations, if you are writing about something niche, then I would just go over here and put in the URL or put in the background information manually. But for stuff that the AI does know about, you don't need to do any of this stuff. What I probably would not do though is take this and put it in here because the AI already knows this stuff. Okay, again, the background is for stuff the AI does not know. Okay, so BB, I hope that answers your question. So again, go through all this stuff, fill all the sections out that the AI would not know about, scrape it all if they are URLs, and then start the SEO writer. All right, what do we got? David asks, should the manual keywords be grouped? No, the prompt on the back end is basically, here's a list of keywords. I convert them to a comma separated list on the back end. Here's a list of keywords. Tell me which ones, give me 3 or give me 6 that would be relevant to this particular subheading. It's something like that, so you don't need a group and whatnot. Abdul auto post, that's a feature request, not talking about those here. Have there been any changes to the magic command, Wayne? I don't know, but we can ask that after chat if you want to. SE Krana asks, so with ZimmWriter, should you also get phrases supplemented? I guess we can talk high level right now because SEO writer is for 2 types of people that want to really control the subheadings, okay? And maybe BB, I don't know if maybe this stuff's not, there's no search volume on it, okay? But you just want to control those subheadings. That's important for the SEO writer, okay? But it's also for people that want to rank, people that are trying to get that high score inside a phrase or whatnot. So SE Krana, it depends on what you're trying to do. If you are trying to rank, then what you need is you need a way to find those keywords, okay? So whether you sign up for a free trial at SEMrush or you do a permanent subscription or something like that, a lot of people can complete their entire site roadmap from a keyword perspective with just the free trial in SEMrush or a 1-month subscription. You need a keyword tool to find those keywords. Frase is not a keyword tool. WriterZen does have some keyword stuff in it, but I'd prefer like Hrefs or SEMrush because it's going to really find those what would appear to be low search volume keywords that very well might have search volume, that cutting edge stuff. If you are in a more recent niche, you'll need to find your keywords, and then you'll need to figure out what keywords to put on the page. Okay, Right now, I don't have SERP scraping inside of ZimmWriter, and I don't have some other bells and whistles, which might be coming soon. I'm winking. I don't know what I am winking with, but there might be some stuff coming soon for those with the Scrape Owl account. Not at the end of this month, though. But right now, if you are trying to rank, you're going to need to know what keywords you need to put into your article. And the only way you're going to find that is with something like Frase or with something like WriterZen, wherever it is on here, or Neuron Writer or something like that. Jeff asks, I'm newer to ZimmWriter. I see that you use Frase and NeuroWriter. Is there a list of all the recommended tools to help build a solid article? I've been thinking about making like a link on my website to the recommended tools, but the general workflow is you need a keyword tool to find your keywords. If you can do that in WriterZen, if you can do that in Neuron Writer, if you can do that in Phrase, hey, that's great. But you'll need that keyword tool to find your keywords to build your article, your site, your site silo structure, because you're going to have those, in the context of this AI law firm, you're going to have that AI law firm, main pillar article. Here's your landing page, AI law firm article. Let me go bigger. You'll have your landing page, your AI law firm article, and then you'll have some supporting things on it, like best AI tools for law firms, how AI tools can affect case briefing and stuff like that. So you'll have all your supporting stuff. All that stuff needs to at least start in one of these keyword research tools, and then we have a need to find the keywords to put into the article itself. And so you're going to need Phrase or Neuron Writer or Surfer or MarketMuse or one of those keyword placement tools. And then you'll need, your AI writer if you want to use AI, obviously. So, I recommend ZimmWriter. Creator asks, in H2 background, should I use prompt or give it the information? Okay, I think we covered this already, but just to be clear, up here, this global background section and or the background sections here, I highly recommend not giving it, I should use the prompt for AI. I guess I could understand your question two ways. It says, in the H2 background, should I use the prompt or AI or just give the information? Yeah, I would not go over to like here and say, what do you know about the concept and rarity of how to design custom D&D items, and then have the AI answer that, and then take that and put that in here. Don't do that, okay? Because the AI already knows this stuff. This is just going to end up costing you more money. Likewise, you don't want to put in the prompt. What do you know about? You don't put that in either. What you put in here is stuff the AI does not know about, okay? Because if the AI knows all about this stuff, like the AI knows a lot about SEO and backlinks and stuff like that. So if you're writing an article for a non-competitive SEO concept that the AI knows a lot about, maybe just use the bulk writer. Okay, don't use the SEO writer. But the SEO writer gives you that global background and gives you those subheading backgrounds, so you can give it information that it does not already know. All right, Wayne, about ZimmWriter quitting and whatnot. We can talk about that for scraping off camera. I'd be interested to hear more about the issue, to see if there's an issue on my end. Paul Jones asked, with the bulk blog writer, I prefer to type in the H2 tags I want to rank for instead of ZimmWriter selecting automatic. Yep. I don't know if you're asking a question. Oh, you're just saying you like to type them in. Okay, so Paul likes to manually type them in. Yeah, what I typically do will sometimes I'll use the H2 or the AI to come up with stuff, and then I'll see what it is, and then I'll edit it. Now, sometimes let's pretend I'm writing a product roundup article, and it's like, let's just do this. 3, and it was like how to buy a lawnmower, and it's like best lawn mowers of, let's just say best lawnmowers, factors to consider when buying a lawnmower. Then what I might do is I might come in here and I say, okay, I want 5 factors and I want 10 products. Now I'm going to fill these H2s, the H3s in manually using products from Amazon. Okay, the product name from Amazon and whatnot. But over here, I'm just going to have the AI come up with it. Types of mowers, size and power, features and price. So that's an option too. You can kind of mix and match what you decide to do. Paul asks, "Can you put a table in the background?" Well, the background section is just raw text. So if you paste a table in, I don't know where you're going to get the table from. I wouldn't recommend pasting in a markdown table, but if you go and like paste a table in from the internet, it's just going to copy the text and paste the text in. So I guess you theoretically could, but it's not going to be a table. Mike asks, when I write for my clients, I put the company name in the style of box, like AK Waterworks as an expert works great. Um, yeah, you can put in right in the style of like Jim Bob's Plumbing, okay? But the AI doesn't know who Jim Bob is. You know, it's not going to know it knows who Bill Gates is, it knows who Steve Jobs is, but it doesn't know who I am. It doesn't, I'm sorry, it doesn't know who you are. Um, so it might be biasing its opinion on you said you put an AK Waterworks as an expert plumbing company. It's just going to write in the style of an expert plumber. So I think you'd probably get the same results if you put an expert plumber as opposed to AK Waterworks, whatnot. Okay. Abdul asks again, have you considered auto posting? Not in this implement this code base, maybe in the next code base, the recoded version. Yeah, I know Mike wants better UI. Yeah, I'm more function over form, right? BB is in the shower listening. I'm just nervous on camera sometimes when I'm demonstrating stuff, but you're in the shower listening. That's really good. Do you have a TV in your shower? That'd be awesome. How do you know if the AI does not know something? Paul Jones. You know, I, that's hard. That's a hard question to answer because I've been saying, if you just joined, I've been saying you use the global background to put in stuff that the AI does not know. Okay. So when do you know if the AI does not know something? I think maybe the rule of thumb is if you could ask your friend, uh, if you could pick, let's do this. If you could pick somebody random off the street and say, "What is this?" All right, and write a 3-page paper on this topic, then the AI probably knows about it. So if I go to somebody on the street, some random person, I say, "What is AK Waterworks Plumbing?" I'd be like, I have no idea. But if you say, "Who is Bill Gates?" They can be like, "Well, Bill Gates is the guy that made Microsoft." Okay. Is he worth a lot of money? Yes, he's worth a lot of money. Okay. Um, so maybe that's a good rule of thumb. For me, it's just I just work with AI for a long time. I just kind of know it. I think you'll know it too if you work with it more. It's not like a special skill or something like that. You just have to understand that the AI has been trained on certain corpuses of content, and a lot of it came from Wikipedia. So the more well-known things will have a general knowledge. But if you said like, what are the top lawnmowers for 2023? The AI is going to have no idea. That's where you're going to have to go out to Amazon, find those yourself, put those in, and then put those links so that they can scrape those Amazon URLs. Creator asks for the custom prompt option. How should I use that? Can you just tell me by writing the intro? So custom prompt, I think I covered this at the beginning of the video, but you'll put in a prompt and it's going to send to the AI your prompt plus the current title, whether it's the title of the article or if you're applying this to a subheading, it will send the title of the subheading. So it will send the content for that section, whether it's the introduction or subheading or whatnot, plus the title of the subheading or the title of the article itself, and then apply the prompt to it. And then say like, you know, rewrite the article according to this rule or something like that. And so the rule would be like write it using the AIDA copywriting technique. And you would enable it, and that's literally all you have to do. And then when you write the article, it's going to apply the custom prompt to that section that you chose, which in this situation was just the introduction. But again, be careful. If you're applying it everywhere, it's going to do that everywhere. And that's not, this particular prompt is not something you want everywhere. So this is one of those very advanced features that you can totally hose up your article with if you're not careful. And heaven forbid you go to like the bulk writer and you schedule 1,000 blog posts and you do your custom prompt and it screws up your entire set of 1,000 articles and you wrote them all using GPT-4. Don't come crying to me, okay? Have you, Aaron? I have Aaron. Asked an interesting question. I have not though. Sorry, SE I don't remember what I said. I'm sorry. um, all right, click. Click's just giving me a compliment. Hey, thanks, Click. Click K. So, uh, Fief Muhammad asks, how do we run ZimmWriter and Midjourney together in one go to produce these bulk articles? Midjourney does not have Midjourney is the best AI image generator in the world right now. It just is. Um, they don't have an API right now. There are services that you can quote unquote bulk generate with Midjourney, but if you spent a lot of money, I prepaid for for fast and for like stealth mode or something, so no one can see what I'm generating. Um, it can get very expensive, for a year subscription. I'm not going to personally take the risk of my account getting banned by using some kind of automation. The rumor mill is they've been working on their own API solution, and you can guarantee that when that's completed, I'm going to try my best to implement that or incorporate that into ZimmWriter. Right now, ZimmWriter does produce these text files, so we would have to then like generate the images as files also. We'd make it work, don't worry. But that would solve the bulk image problem. But right now, there's no real way to do it unless you're going to get down and dirty with parsing the output files and then using some kind of one of these non-official and kind of dangerous mid-journey automators on the market. Right, top GFX asks, can we get the exact H2 or H3 number, the same H? All right, top GFX. That's a Penny Arcade question. I think your question is answered in the Penny Arcade exhaustive guide. For those that have just joined us, click the training and help button. Please click that button and then go to the Penny Arcade and read that article. Uh, Someone asks, is there a plan to include Claude AI in the future? Not near, when I don't know what near means. Near future, I don't know what that means. For some people, my wife says, I'm leaving in the near future. Get ready. 30 minutes later, we leave the house. So near is a very subjective term. Um, I think after the Mac version, I'm going to look into that. I think that's the way forward, having different AI models to choose from. But in the current code base, because I'm recoding it to work on both platforms using one code base. On the current code base, I don't think we're going to do that. If David asks if you're scraping to get the global background, doesn't the AI know it already, or are you using URLs about new or very niche topics? The second part of your comment slash question, David, um, usually I'm going to have it scrape URLs that it would not know about. Like the Penny Arcade is a great example. Like you can go to CNN and I can take this current event article right here, if it loads. All right, take this, and I can go to Penny Arcade and put it in and click Start Penny Arcade. Actually, let's do Turbo. And this is, all of the functions are kind of shared. So this is exactly what's kind of happening. It's going to scrape this um, this URL, but then it's going to write an article. All right, it's not going to just give you that summary. It's going to then write an article using that summary. So the AI has no idea about this. Judge sets May 2024 trial date for Donald Trump in documents case. So when you're using the SEO blog writer or any scraping functionality in ZimmWriter, you're probably going to use it for stuff the AI does not know about. And the Amazon's a great example of that. The AI does not know about these really niche stuff. Like you want to get some reviews on the best gummy vitamins for kids. The AI is not going to have any idea about the specific products. So that's when you would use that Amazon URL. You need ScrapeL to do that, to scrape those sites and pull in that very unique data that the AI was not trained on. Um, don't worry about that, Essie. Uh, okay, I think that any more questions? I'll wait for this to generate and I'll show you. I really love the Penny Arcade. It's a lot of fun. The Penny Arcade's great for if you're, let's see if I have paint here. I need like a better sketching program. So like if you're this is it kind of covers the SEO writer a little bit. Imagine this being your homepage up here. You're going to have your pillars, your pillar articles. So in the context of AI for law firms, this could be like best AI or AI tools for law firms, AI. And I'm doing this really off the cuff, so give me some grace on this. AI um, in case briefs. AI in trial. So you have your different areas of law. Let's see, was that in here? Client meetings. Okay. So this could be like our different pillars, AI for legal research, AI for court appearances, AI for client meetings. Okay. So we have our different pillars, and here's our landing page. And then off of here, we have our supporting articles. So these pillars would probably be generated using your SEO writer. Okay. But then within them, you're going to have links to your supporting articles. So this could be a supporting article. If this is AI for client meetings, so this is our client meeting one. Right. This could be an article about I don't know, I can't come up with it off the cuff, but you have some supporting articles over here. Now, depending on what the AI knows, you might use the SEO writer to write these articles. Okay. But if the AI does know about these, then you might just use the bulk. But right, you could also use the penny arcade for some of these. So, you don't want to spend a lot of time. You don't want to spend 3 hours generating it, but the AI doesn't know about it. Then what you can do is just put a competitor's URL in there. All right. And then generate the article. Obviously, check for plagiarism and all that stuff. But that's a great way to have the AI write about niche stuff really quickly and really easily. So here's our article we just wrote on this CNN thing. So open up. So again, the AI was stopped learning in 2021. So hopefully you can see this on my screen here. Judge orders trial date for Donald Trump in the classified documents case. In the United States, federal judge has recently established a trial date for Donald Trump, the former president, in a case involving the mishandling of classified documents. The trial slated to commence May 2024 with a pretrial hearing scheduled the same month. And you do get a little bit of repetition sometimes, depending on how long the article was or how short it was. But this is all stuff in here that the AI had no idea about. See, in the fraud case, Trump is facing a trial date in October 23. So that's in here somewhere. I'm sure we can find that somewhere. See, in October 2023. So it's using stuff from the article. So this is an example of why we would want to scrape something, because the AI would not know about it. Okay. Let's see. Any other questions? Um, Creator says for an informational article, I didn't get the answer in the H2s. So for that, can I add the same H1 in the H2 to get the answer? I'm not sure I understand. I'm sorry. When is the affiliate program? I already have one, David. You can message me. Can you, Corey asks, can you manually trigger the product layout with a magic command like we can do? I mean, if you want, my prompt is exposed right here. The prompt for the product trigger is essentially, um, David or Corey wants to know if they can just do the uh, um, the product layout option using a magic command. Yeah, you definitely can. I basically say write 2 paragraphs, based on the content I provided about the product, and then write 3 bullet point lists of product specs, pros and cons, and that's it. That's my prompt right there. So you can do it with the magic command if you really want to. Can I set a target audience and their desired outcome in the global background? No, it's just stuff. The global background and all the background stuff is not for prompts. It's just for stuff the AI does not know. Chris asked, hey, Matt, a bit late to the stream. Sorry if this has been asked already. Does it matter which AI model for the SEO blog writer? Will GPT-4 give the best result? Kind of answered this before. GPT-4's knowledge is greater, and you'll also get less what appears to be common words used. Let's see, I used Turbo for this one. I wish I had some more examples here. Like for Turbo, what I'll find is, and you need to understand, don't take this the wrong way, everybody. most of you, all right, people are not coming back to read other articles that you've written. I mean, maybe they are, but I'm an affiliate marketer. People come to my site and they never come back. They come to my site. They want to find something. They arrive on my site because they did a commercial search keyword. How to buy this particular product or best whatever. They come to the site. They find what they're looking for. They click on Amazon. They buy the product. They never come back again. Okay, who cares if all of my articles have the word therefore at the end of each H2 section? It doesn't matter. Okay. I'll know. And maybe if I'm nitpicky, okay, I don't like that, but from a reader standpoint, who cares? What I found is GPT 3.5 will use simple words more commonly. DaVinci will use more, like less simple words more commonly. Its vocabulary is bigger. And then GPT-4 it almost goes in some situations too far and will write extremely professionally. And like if I was writing a blog about babies, caring for your babies and whatnot, I would have to dial in GPT-4 using, for instance, this right in the style of, maybe I'd say a uh, a mom with a small child. Now, I don't know. Sometimes there's some magic that goes on behind the scenes with the AI. You know, what does this actually mean? I don't know. Okay. But this is a situation where the AI might be able to do some magic and it might write uh, with GPT-4, but using not big words, but with a large vocabulary. So you might not get the word therefore a lot at the beginning of every section. So, but at the end of the day, I don't think that necessarily matters. I think what matters is in isolation, does the article read well? So not do all of your articles, read differently. I would say in isolation, does that one article read well? Hope that answered it. Uh, that was Chris. Bulkit asks, can I set the target audience and the desired outcome in the global background? Will it change the output? No, we already asked that one. And I said no, because you can't prompt the AI in the background. Leader Dreams asks, can you explain the difference between bulk writer and penny arcade as far as output? Sure. Uh, Bulk writer is writing based on titles that you put in a title here, it's going to write an article. It's not going to use any background information. It's not going to scrape the internet. You're just relying on what the AI knows about the subject. So if you put something really niche in here, like Donald Trump's 2024 court case or something like that, you're going to get terrible output because the AI has no knowledge of that. Okay. But if you're going to say, how do I rank higher using SEO or using backlinks or something, you'll get great output. Now, it's probably not going to rank because that's super competitive, but the AI will do a good job of writing an article. It will be a coherent, well-written article. Penny Arcade, on the other hand, is kind of the opposite. You're not necessarily feeding it titles, you're feeding it URLs, and those URLs contain knowledge. Now, the AI may or may not know the content of those URLs already. So if you put in a bunch of URLs about how to rank higher on Google, the AI already knows that stuff, but it's just going to use that stuff again to write the article. But if you put stuff that we just did, like we just did for CNN about Donald Trump's 2024 court date, it's going to do a much better job than than the bulk, because the penny arcade's actually going to go and pull that data from whatever URL you're citing. I don't want to get too much off on a tangent for this penny arcade, but these two options are very important right here. And they'll control how much output you're going to get. So definitely read the exhaustive guide for the penny arcade, which you can find in the training and help button. Alif asks, how do you actually use Midjourney? If you go to the training and help guide, there is, it should be on here. Yep, use Midjourney with ZimmWriter to create custom images. So it's all on there. To Mike's point above, okay, Corey, BB's going to go. See you later, BB. Will you add pictures to the writer? Not right now because they are text files. Leader asks, can you explain the difference between the bulk writer and the penny arcade? As far as I think I just did that. Please publish a live stream. I'm going to do that. Um, Mohammed asks, what's the meaning of log prompt? No problem. I explained this earlier, but you probably just joined us. This is going to put your prompt, your custom prompt, this right here, into the title of the article, up here, or into the header. So this is all our stuff up here. All right. You're going to get the actual prompt you used up here also. So if you're playing around with this custom prompt, and I recommend like generating 5 versions of the same article, but with different custom prompts. And that way you can open them all up as text files and compare the output. All right. So maybe you're trying to really dial in that introduction. You generate 5 versions of, you come in here and you say, okay, I'm only going to do 1H2. All right. I'm only going to do 1H2. And I'm going to use that custom prompt, generate 5 of those articles with different custom prompts. It's really cheap to do with Turbo. And then you can see which custom prompt, and how the custom prompts will be affecting the output, and choose whatever one you like best. Paul, I don't, I don't do it much. I don't do affiliate marketing any much anymore because I'm just spending all my time making ZimmWriter. But let me tell you, if I was doing in the past if I had ZimmWriter in the past to do affiliate marketing, man, it would make my job so much easier. I spent hours, like maybe 10 hours writing an article, 6 to 10, a couple different affiliate sites. Um, I'd spend 6 to 10 hours writing an article. I'd do like 6 products. I'd review them, look at the specs and all that stuff. Then I'd do like the buying guide on how to buy the best product. It would take me a long time. I basically built ZimmWriter, at least the SEO portion, to replicate that process, and it would save me hours. I could probably do an entire affiliate article in 30 minutes without the actual generation. I could fill in all the data in 30 minutes, no problem now. No internal links right now. Armas I don't know if that's on the roadmap or not. There are solutions that already accomplish that right now. Um, so it's in my mind, but it's not on the roadmap right now. Will more languages be added? Page, you can output to any language you want right now. In terms of input languages, that all is in my plans, but it's after the Mac version. So right now, you can only put the language that you want out. So I think that wraps it up. We went a little bit about 27 minutes over. Wanted to just keep answering your questions and give you guys value. Hope this was beneficial to you. If you did like this video, I'd love to do more. My time is limited, so if you didn't like it, then I won't do more. But if you did like it, please drop a comment. Please give it a thumbs up, like it, share it with your friends that would be interested in learning more about the SEO writer. And if there's good feedback, I'll make some more training videos on the different features of ZimmWriter. So thank you all for coming, and I will. Don't worry about that Giger wax. Don't worry, this will all be made available on the YouTube channel. So until next time, until I talk to you again, good luck with your content generation. Thank you for supporting ZimmWriter, and I'll talk to you later.